it's been somewhat informative.
Thank you, Gary. Questions?
Is most of your expertise in suburban, or, I mean, is most of this deals with suburban development? But as far as like urban development, I saw a presentation the other night, and I was just curious about, I had to write it down because it's a little bit complex, but communal development of mixed-use properties. Okay, you've got 4 or 5 different owners of small tracts of land, okay, and you only want like 1 drive-through instead of having 5 drive-throughs. What can you do to get those people to cooperate? I mean, because if one of those people within those 5 adjacent properties decides that they're not going to cooperate, then your plan completely falls apart. And, you know, you don't want to have, to me, you don't want to have the only development of these mixed-use properties be major conglomerates coming in to make that happen.
Well, it's not easy in some cases. Certainly, getting everybody in this room to agree on anything is very difficult. Same way there. But the whole notion is, the theory is, to reduce the number of driveway cuts, to make transportation more efficient, to maximize the use of the real estate. We're doing that. I didn't mention it too much here, but community-oriented schools. One component of this plan is, as we look to build a possible school in this corridor for the future, is to say, wait a minute, is it the best location for a school? Have we promoted mixed use? Have we talked about libraries, emergency services, fire, rescue, law enforcement? Have we looked at everything we can possibly get on that piece of real estate to make it all work? Mixed use is the most efficient way to go. Like I said earlier, segregation and separating everything out has proven to be so much more expensive than sprawl, creative sprawl. So we're trying to go full circle to where we were at the beginning of the 20th century and try to do all we can to move development closer to the cities, really. But when we have opportunities like this, let's take advantage of those corridors.
What I'm getting at, is there something that the government can do to bring those separate entities together to get that cooperation in order to make
the regulations will form the framework upon which you try to accomplish that. But again, I mentioned early on, you still need some flexibility because one size doesn't fit all. And you can never think of all the possibilities. So in theory, yes, the regulations, you have that ability to force that, but you don't ever want to force it.
You're right, because that's negative.
Absolutely.
And what I'm saying, are there positive methods that can get those independent entities?
Incentives, and we've got those built into our regulations. Higher density, for example, maybe a forgiveness of one regulation that's really costly in exchange for being willing to interconnect in another area. So yes, incentives are built in to help inspire that.
Other questions?
During the time that 321 was being constructed, I was traveling a lot in South Carolina and was always sort of jealous of the access road and industrial development along access roads between Greenville and Spartanburg. Now, you know, you've shown all these flood plains, and I understand why large parts of our 321 corridor may not be amenable to that, but are there areas between Highway 18 and Highway 85 that are amenable to adding access roads and having major development along them?
It was a good point. It was designed as a limited access, obviously. So the idea is you do try to concentrate as best you can on those nodes. Because of everything you just said, we didn't have an access here. We need to create another one. But there will be some idea of some service roads running parallel with 321, particularly closer to these nodes. But you really want to try to concentrate as much development as you can where you do have these major intersections.
Well, between Greenville and Spartanburg, those service roads are just a lot of development along those, businesses large and small.
Exactly right.
Thoroughfare plan does call for a Robinson Road extension that would come from there back down into Startown, and that's probably in terms of your natural features. There's not any floodplain on the east side of 321. Yeah, you do have the conflict of dealing with a lot of that natural environment on the west of 321.
That's a good point, Chris. The Startown, which runs parallel with 321, has opportunity sites there, so that's alternative, easy access without a limitation of driveway cuts there.
Other questions?
And Terry, you know, getting the schedule toward the end of this process, if you'd like us to come back to kind of give a final wrap-up of what we've accomplished would be good. We'll certainly notify everybody. Danny will know about the public forum, so everyone in here will have an opportunity to have input.
Okay. Jackie, we certainly appreciate you coming today. And if both presenters don't mind, we'll send contact information so that somebody has a question, they can contact you later on after this presentation, because I'm sure there's a lot of interest in both areas here. And there has been a lot of discussion, Jackie, about what's going on and how development is occurring. So this will be an ongoing conversation, and hopefully that we can continue with this particular group. Our next meeting is the 16th, so make sure you've got that on your calendar. I'm not sure whether, hopefully we know a golf tournament that day. Yeah. So it should be the 16th of September. So like I said, put that on your date. We appreciate your time this morning. Do go online and check out the Facebook page. Again, we'll get you that information with notes from today's meeting and so forth. So hopefully we'll keep you all informed there. And Tom will put some of the information about this meeting. So we've got different ways for you to keep up with the information that's being presented here, and different ways for you to communicate with the entire Future Economy Council and the people that's working there. So keep up with those things, and if you just sign up on some of these, it'll automatically come to your email. So that'll be a good way too. Anything else that we need to discuss before we break for today?
Don't forget, Frank Avenell will be here next Thursday and Friday if you've not signed up. And September 1st, we're doing a healthcare summit or conference from about 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock on understanding the healthcare reform bill and how it affects business. It's free. It's going to be at the Salt Block Auditorium. You're certainly welcome to come. We'd love to have you. And it's something to try to figure out. So we want to make sure that you know about it. We'd love to have you. You just need to RSVP to it.
Okay. Danny, how's planning for the Washington trip going?
That's the 13th and 14th. There's 5 of us going, but the whole 10th district and the larger group's going. So I don't know how many folks, just for a night.
Thank you very much, folks.